Hey, I'm Albert, director of the Georgia Southern Wesley Foundation, and today was our last day finishing up our work down here in Bonara, Dominican Republic, and super thankful, super grateful to be able to come down and serve with students over the past week, and ultimately being able to do ministry with Big Hope Bearden Ministries. The missionaries Donna and John Bearden have been doing ministry down here for over 25 years, and it has been a huge blessing for us to be a part of that this year, being able to come and serve alongside them and the church with Pastor Pedro and all the work that's done with the boys' home, and being able to go visit Batay 7, seeing students being able to just serve and give their all over the past week, and all that entailed. And ultimately, over the course of a few videos, I've sat down with students and interviewed them, and they'll share their experience. And I look forward to how that might speak to you, how that might call to you, and how that might impact you, because we know that it has impacted us being able to come and serve here and see how God is already moving in other parts of the world. And we just got to be a part of that and ultimately join in on his mission and his ministry. And so I am immensely blessed and truly grateful to be able to come and serve here and bring students here. We look forward to just the ministry here in the future and what that looks like. So please be on the lookout for those videos and just listen to the stories of the students and what impacted them and how it has made them fall deeper and deeper in love with God, and ultimately calling them to truly live out their faith. And I'm truly blessed to be a witness to it and being able to experience it from their eyes, from being able to see the world through their lens and their perspective, but also for us to see just the world through the perspective of the people here and how God is working and moving through their life, and how they have the joy of the Holy Spirit flowing in and through them. And ultimately, we didn't come down to just minister to them, but rather they too ministered to us. And so we are truly blessed. I'm truly blessed. And I look forward to just the ministry that will take forward, that will take flight, and ultimately continue to empower students to make an impact, not just on the campus of Georgia Southern University, but into their communities, their homes, and going out further and beyond and truly impacting the world. So thank you, blessings, and health, Southern. Hey, so I'm Albert, and I'm the director here of the Georgia Southern Wesley Foundation, and we are wrapping up our final day down in Bonara, Dominican Republic, where we have been doing work with Big Hope Bearden Ministries, and ultimately really enjoying some time of doing work and painting and scraping and sweeping and all the things. I just kind of helped them do some beautification and construction work down here with a partner church. And ultimately, being able to bring students has been really awesome. So here I'm sitting with Andrew. Tell us your major and year you are in school.
Okay, so right now I'm a freshman at Georgia Southern University, just wrapping up the spring semester, and I'm studying construction management right now. Just kind of dipping my toes into one class, but next semester I'll be the deep end with intro to, what was it?
All the hard classes.
Yeah.
Intro, all the hard.
It's no longer intro. It's like secondary classes.
Yeah. You're in there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you wrapping up freshman year, you could have done anything else for spring break, because we all know that school can be school sometimes. And with that, you could have done anything else. Could have went on vacation or just sat at the house and brain rot on your phone. But instead, you came with us to the DR to do some mission work. What was your favorite part of it?
Yeah, well, the brain rot was tempting, but I had to come here because it was just, I felt like a calling to join the mission, and it's just been such an amazing experience. I was kind of intimidated at first by fundraising because I'd never done that before, but now that I'm here, I can say that it's completely worth it. My favorite part has been just bonding with the kids at the boys' home, which is the not really orphanage that we've been working at, painting and scraping and all that stuff, beautifying, and just like getting to know the kids, knowing them, practicing my Spanish, getting familiar with the locals. It's all been really fun, and it's been an adventure.
Yeah. What were some worries you had maybe coming on the trip?
I wasn't really that worried about I was a little worried about picking up a disease because of course we had to get the anti-malaria pills, and I was like, anti-malaria?
Yeah.
What else is out there?
What else? Why do we have to take pills?
Yeah. So I was a little worried about that, but the mosquitoes haven't been biting too bad, and I just take my pill every day, so we should be good there.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, tell me, what was the most impactful thing for you on this trip?
For me, it was definitely going to the Batay, which is like a settlement near a sugar mill, but it translates to a place of suffering, and you can tell there is a lot of suffering there as you're driving on like the pothole-ridden dirt road. Like you see houses that are scrapped together with materials found outside, people like showering in canals next to the sugar mill, and like the basic necessities of life are hard to come by, like food, water, shelter. Just seeing how like the other side lives really makes me feel like my problems are not that big compared to like theirs. And just seeing that made me think, how can I help more? Like how can I add more to the world? Because of like all that I've been given, I want to give it back.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. Going to Batay 7, like Andrew said, this place literally translates to place of suffering. A lot of Haitian individuals, Haitian immigrants landed here through, wrongfully being brought over and treating them no better than slaves or being enslaved, and ultimately this brought about a lot of pain and suffering. But what we saw, ultimately, if you close your eyes and you just listen, you hear all the little children laughing and playing and having a great time.
Yeah, if you came in there without any sight, you would think that you were at Disneyland or something.
Yeah,
because of how much fun the kids were having, playing tag, doing cartwheels, playing games, patty cake, all that stuff.
Rock, paper, scissors. I got beat a couple of times.
Yeah, they're reading you.
Yeah, they were beating me. The kid kind of knew my strategy, so it was all fun. But ultimately, how has this trip changed your perspective?
Just like noticing how many options that I have in life, where I want to go, what I want to do, who I want to talk with, where I want to be, all that stuff is limited to a significant amount when you go to a place like a Batay. They can't really travel far because they have to save money so that they can buy food. They can't use gas. Like, they have to use gas diligently in order to get from place to place. It's just like, you realize that they don't know much outside of their valley. That's been the biggest perspective shift from going to this trip. Yeah,
not much life outside the valley, as Ms. Donna said. This is the only life they know. But we were able to see that perspective and get, that worldview from them, from their eyes, to see that this is all they see. And we are so blessed to be able to come and serve here. So with that, why do you think it's important, or do you think it's important to go on mission trips like this, and why?
Absolutely. Not only do mission trips add value to places like the Boys House, where we were painting it and fixing it up for the 100th year anniversary of the church here, but just getting that perspective shift for me changed my view on the entire world and just what's important in life. And when you get a perspective shift like that, you just want to take it and then you want to spread it everywhere you are, and that changes more than going to the mission and painting a wall. Spreading what you saw and sharing just what you noticed in the life of people that live in the Dominican or any other country, it changes the focus in a country like America, which is really important.
It's true. Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you, and look forward to our next
interview.
Yeah.
Let me talk. Oh, sorry, you're recording.
Well, we just finished up.
So, Albert, director here at the Georgia Southern Wesley, and we are finishing up our final day here at Bonaire, Dominican Republic. And ultimately, I'm sitting down here with Ben, and we're talking about, just the trip and what it was like to serving down here with Big Hope Bearden Ministries and with Donna Bearden and what she has been doing down here for over 25 years. And ultimately, experiencing how God is moving down here in the Dominican Republic. So, Ben, tell us what year you are at Georgia Southern and what you're studying.
So I'm an international studies major at Georgia Southern. In my last semester, only 2 months until graduation.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there. So we've been down here, we've been serving, doing some construction and cosmetic work down in the boys' home with Iglesia, one of the churches here in Bonaire, and ultimately being able to work with Pastor Pedro and all the young men there. What was your favorite part of this mission trip?
I think my favorite part, all in all, was going down to the Batay, actually. Not that the boys' home wasn't great.
Right.
I mean, I had a great time painting and hanging out with the kids and all of that. But the Batay was probably definitely the most impactful. I mean, just seeing how these people live. I mean, houses basically made of sheet metal, and some of them are probably one gust of wind away from collapsing, and that's virtually all they have. And really just playing with the kids for a little bit there was probably my favorite part of this trip.
Yeah.
And the most impactful.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was really awesome. Batay means place of suffering, and the individuals there are Haitian immigrants, persons that have been brought over and not of the best circumstances, and basically like a modern day slavery situation, and just not a great place. But in this place, there's a lot of love and a lot of joy, and being able to hang around the children there and seeing the work that is done ultimately is really awesome. And excuse me, being able to see that and experience it with you guys was really good. So with that, did you have any worries before you came on this trip?
I mean, there were a few things that were a little bit worrisome. I mean, $1,500 is a lot, especially if you're kind of raising money sort of for the first time and that much. I mean, I've raised money for a team and stuff like that before. Never for myself or with such a high goal, and how other people would respond to that. And then I think also just being oh, this is my first time out of the country was a bit of a interesting.
Yeah. Scary, and both of those are two big things to do at once. And I think the first one, people respond to God's mission and God's call on your life and where God's leading you. And, for someone who does this for a living, it's one of those things of you trust God, and it's
absolutely
you say, this is where I want to go. And you are truly Jehovah Jireh. You are the Lord who provides, and trusting and abiding, which takes a lot of faith. It does. And then, going out of the country, and doing it without your parents, right?
Sure.
What in the world? How have I not done this with my parents, and now I'm going to go do this for God? But we see that the Lord truly works through that and allows us to come and bring that same message, that the mission and all this, he brings it, allows this to come with us and us to bring this back to our parents, our family, our friends. And ultimately, I think that's a huge thing for you. So what was the most impactful thing for you on this trip?
Yeah, I mentioned the Batay, and I mean, really the other thing I wanted to mention about just kind of playing with the kids. I mean, it is such a poor, desperate situation down there. Probably some of the poorest places in the world are the Batays. And, really it's the fact that, wow, these kids know almost nothing outside of the Batay.
Right.
The kids know almost nothing outside of the Batay, and so despite being in such a desperate situation, they're just so joyful and happy to see us, really. And it was such a great time getting to make an impact in their lives as well. And I think we get so caught up in, like, again, because I'm graduating in 2 months, what am I doing after graduation? How are we going to pay bills in a few months once scholarship money runs out, et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, I mean, these kids probably didn't have anything to eat today or yesterday when we went to see them. And so their parents are figuring out, how do I take care of not just myself, but how do I take care of my children? And not in the way that we would think of in the United States. It's like, how do I make sure that we have enough food and water to survive? So
Yep.
I think it's just a reminder that we may be worried about different things, and while it's still valid to think about these things in the future, it could be a lot worse.
Right. Yeah. So sounds like, you've had a perspective shift. Could you speak a little bit more into that?
I think for the most part, managed to cover it all. It's really just like, it could be a lot worse, I mean, I could be thinking about what am I going to eat within the next day, 2, 3, rather than what am I going to do after graduation 2 months from now.
Yeah. So with that, do you think it is important to do missions, and why?
I think it's important to do missions to spread God's love and show people that they are not forgotten even when they're in desperate times, because, just because we may have a better situation than some of the people, say, in the boys' home or in the Batays, doesn't mean that God doesn't love them. So I think it's a good reminder for both us and the people that we're impacting by showing up and helping out however we can.
For sure. Well, thank you, Ben. Thank you for sharing your time with us and your experience, and look forward to seeing how God works in your life.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm Albert, director here at the Georgia Southern Wesley, and sitting with Libby as we finish up our final day here on the mission trip here in Bonara, Dominican Republic. And so, Libby, tell us your year and what you are studying at Georgia Southern.
Okay, I'm a freshman, and my major I'm studying is elementary education.
The babies! Yeah. So what was your favorite part of the trip?
I would definitely say the Batay, for sure. And just seeing the kids, how much joy they had, and they don't know what's outside of, some of them may not even know what's outside of the Batay. They basically stay there. They don't really leave the Batay, and just seeing the joy they have in their circumstance and what little they have.
Right.
That was really an eye-opener for me.
Yeah, and we are serving here with Big Hope Bearden Ministries, and it is a blessing to serve here alongside Donna Bearden, who has been here for over 25 years, serving down in the DR. Yeah, we're kind of wearing the shirts.
Yeah.
And, just what has been done. And the Batay is translated for place of suffering, and all the individuals that are there are Haitian refugees, immigrants, individuals that have come here, most likely not of their own will, but brought here and basically treated as modern day slavery. Not a great circumstance at all. And so ultimately, being there is not necessarily a good place, but being at the Batay, you see a different side of it. You see how, they have all this joy and this love to give and to share. And you think you're going in there to serve them, but really they're serving you.
They teach you a lesson that you may not know that you needed to learn, and they show you new things to value in life.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So with that, did you have any worries before coming on this trip?
I don't really know. I would say, getting lost. Because I get lost easily.
Yeah, Libby's like this tall, so I was a little scared of that.
I'm like
too.
yay high, and I get lost really easily. But I would all around say no, because knowing that my dad has been down here multiple times and him telling me all the stories from his mission trips, I was just kind of excited to get down here and just to start working and get hands on and just to meet the kids and do God's work.
It's awesome. That's awesome. What was the most impactful to you?
Impactful. Oh, that's hard. A lot of this was impactful. Just seeing Barona. Hope I said that right.
We're all trying to say it right, so you're good.
I think just seeing, and as you know, I want to get a degree in elementary education, just so I'm really big with kids. It's just seeing the kids mainly. That was probably the biggest impact because, you know, in the U.S. as kids, like we have all these toys, you know, some kids might even have a playroom, you know, full of toys. And coming down here and seeing these kids, they may have a ball. They may have, they literally take sticks. They make stuff out of what they see, you know, what they find on the ground. And what really impacted me was just knowing that I hopefully brought joy to these kids' lives, and hopefully one day being able to come back and more educated and hopefully maybe teaching and just doing this more.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. What or how has this trip maybe changed your perspective?
Definitely more appreciative of what I have. I was already appreciative of what I have. It's just understanding the value of what I have and knowing that not everyone can have words. Not everyone has a, you know, sorry, I'm trying to think, the way of knowing that, you know, tomorrow will happen to where, you know, I just know that, oh yeah, tomorrow will be here. Okay.
Right.
You know, like I'm not worried about it to where some of them may not even make it to tomorrow and they're struggling. And it's been definitely a life changer because I've realized like they can make the most out of, you know, nothing. And I worry so much about, you know, oh, like people aren't gonna like I have to do all this stuff to make sure that I keep up with society and that I stay in the know and people know who I am, when really I should just enjoy the little things and, you know, be me and live life the way God would want me to. And after seeing the people down here and like their culture, like they're all about family. And I really, you know, like just seeing that, it just, you know, it helps me appreciate the people in my life more, knowing that they're there for me.
Right. Yeah. And that's huge, you know, understanding the dynamic of family and how it's so important. And, you know, for them, family is all they have, right? They don't have tons of followers on Instagram or all these different listeners on Spotify, but they have each other. And, you know, that grounds them and allows them to know what it means to be loved, you know. With that, do you think it is important that we go on mission trips, and why?
Yeah. I definitely say that it's important that you go on at least one mission trip in your life because it kind of brings you to, like, sorry, I started saying something and then I forgot what I was going to say. It opens your eyes up to a different world around you because, you know, I've learned about the DR in school, you know, like I would learn about this in high school and in history class and like, you know, all the presidents and whatnot, but, you know, I never actually got to learn about them. Yeah. And I think that going on a mission trip is not just like, oh, you know, like you're spreading the word of God, you're spreading the gospel, you may even be bringing people to know Jesus. It's more, you're also learning about a culture and their history and, you know, their way of life. And it can be, and some of those things that they do, you know, you can look back on your own life and the way that you live life, and it's like, I worry so much about this, and this, and then, you know, they don't even worry about any of that because they're surrounded in a culture that will help, like, everyone will help them with this, and this, and it's like, they don't ever worry, like you said, about, you know, Instagram followers or TikTok or Snapchat or any of that. You know, it's just a more simpler way of living. Right. And also going on mission trips. And for me, it also helps me bring me back remembering why I believe in Jesus and why I believe in God and why I continue having this faith and knowing that the work that I did, and, you know, we were painting, you know, like we weren't building anything, we weren't out in the middle of nowhere in a way, but we were still doing hard work. And it's no matter what you're doing, you're still impacting them, because they, at the boys' home, they may not have the resources to have painters come in and do that for them. Right. So, we came to them and we're like, hey, we want to help, we're here, let's talk about Jesus while we paint for a bit. Let's do this while we, clean up trash or something. Yeah. And it's like those little things is what brings them joy. And they'll remember that for a long time. Right. I also forgot the second part of the question.
No. I think it's good. It's just, do you think it's important to go on missions, and why? Oh. I think you answered some of the why, though. I think you did. I think you were able to really share, getting outside of your comfort zone, right? Being able to provide maybe a resource or maybe a service to just serve, right? It doesn't mean that you have to come in and fix everything, but just be available to do something. I think that's really huge, and what they need, right? Yeah. We didn't come in and be like, hey, let's go and build you something. They were like, we don't need you to do that. We need you to paint. Yeah. And that's what we did. We painted and did things that they needed us to do, rather than assuming that they needed something that's not necessary. Yeah. So, well, thank you for coming and sharing, and thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing how God moves. I'm here with, my name is Albert. I'm here with Mia, and we are on our final day of the mission trip here down in Bonara, Dominican Republic. And ultimately, we're finishing up and just kind of want to talk about our trip. Mia, tell us your year in school and your major.
So I am a junior at Georgia Southern. I'm majoring in biology with a focus in animal science, and hopefully we'll be graduating spring of 26.
Awesome. So we are down here with Big Hope Bearden Ministries and serving with Donna Bearden, who has been down here for over 25 years, serving down in the Dominican Republic. And being here has been really awesome, serving with the Iglesia Dominican Republic. I believe that's the name of the church here, with Pastor Pedro. Donna has a great relationship with them. And ultimately, we've been doing all these different things, serving and painting and scraping and sweating, all the different things.
Sweating, yeah.
So what was your favorite part of the trip so far?
It's hard to pick just one. I definitely loved going to the Batay, just being surrounded by so much love and joy from these kids, despite, the situation they lived in. Going to the boys' home, had Miguel. He was always following me around. He was a sweet heart, and he was trying to help, whether he knew it or not. But I've really also enjoyed getting to know Libby, Andrew, and Ben a lot more on this trip. At the Wesley, I wouldn't say they're part of the main crew I hang out with. I know them, I know who they are, but it was really nice getting to know them better and grow closer through the blood, sweat, and tears we put in. As Miss Donna said, if you want to cause the church to go closer together, throw them on a mission trip. It's trauma bonding. Yeah.
Oh, man. So with that trauma bonding, did you have any worries before coming on this trip?
I'd say no. I've been international before. I've done mission trips domestically. I've seen some pretty rough situations, and a lot of the things I saw on this trip weren't new to me. I've seen a lot in homeless camps in Savannah, going down to Pine Island, Florida after Hurricane Ian, just the devastation and the rubble there. So I felt pretty prepared for the work aspect of it and what I was going to see. So worries-wise, I kept a very much an open mind, because I believe that God would put me where I needed to be and have me do what I needed to do on this trip. And if He didn't want me going on this trip, I wouldn't have ended up here.
Very true. Very true. What would you say was the most impactful for you then?
Despite being prepared to see a lot of the situations we ran into, especially in like the Batay, and even in the boys' home, it served as a reminder of how blessed we are back in the States. We don't have to worry about our energy flickering when someone turns on a power saw. We don't have to worry about not having AC at night or all these mosquitoes and all the bug bites. And it reminds me to be grateful because despite the living difference between us in the States and people here, I'd say they are a lot happier here than a decent amount of people who are well off in America. And that's, I think we just forget all the blessings we are given. And sometimes taking a step back and seeing how the rest of the world lives really reminds us to be thankful and show gratitude to all we have.
For sure. Yeah. And, you know, out at the Batay means place of suffering. And all the Haitian refugees and immigrants brought over, whether of their own will or not, a lot of them not, are there. And ultimately, in this place, in this space, it has brought a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, and just a lot of hurt. And, you know, basically their living conditions aren't great. But something Donna said as we were, you know, getting ready to go over there was, you know, if you go over there and you just close your eyes, you know, you would feel like it was the happiest place on earth, because these children just have so much love to give and so much joy in their hearts. And it was just a lot of fun being able to see them and hang out and spend time, but also see the world through their eyes, understanding that the world that they know is only in that valley, and for them, that's okay. For us, that's hard, and it's really, really tough. So with that, how has this trip, how might it change your perspective?
Just on life? Or?
Yeah, on life, or just, you know, in general, wherever.
It definitely will continue to serve as a reminder to be grateful for all I have. But even the joy of community is so powerful and so amazing. All they have is one another. And I was joking that I felt like a Disney princess when all these little girls are coming up and wanting to, you know, do twists in my hair and just wanting to play with my hair and hold on to my hand and even play with my watch, just be there with me. Just sitting there like that for 30 minutes was so powerful and so moving. I could not stop smiling. And I feel like sometimes we lose that sense of community with how busy we are in life. We're running around getting those degrees, getting that money, getting that career, getting that house, getting that relationship, building those friendships. We're so focused on go, 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 go that we forget to stop and enjoy those moments. The only difference is, you know, they're still going, trying to make a life for themselves and a life for their families, but they take that time to stop and be grateful for all that we have. So I feel like we can learn a lot from them on how to just enjoy what God has given us and the community He has provided us.
Yeah, no, for sure. So with that, do you feel that it is important to go on missions, and why?
I feel like there's a couple of reasons that it's important to go on missions. First of all, you know, God calls us to go out and, you know, share His love, grace, and mercy, and you can't do that from your couch. I mean, you can, but
not gonna go far.
Not everyone can.
Literally, you won't go far.
You know, not everyone has a phone. Not everyone can watch a podcast, log in, you know, see what's going on in your feed. Taking that time to get out there and be with them, you know, that makes it personal. And God wants a personal relationship with us, and He wants us to build personal relationships with others. So I think that's important, just building this world as a stronger community and a stronger church as a whole. And then I think it's also very important to get out there for yourself, you know, because there's a difference between knowing and knowing. Just like you can know the word but not know it in your heart, you can know the situation people are in but not truly know how they are living. So by getting out there, it has a huge impact if you allow yourself to go out there with an open mind and an open heart. And that doesn't mean you have to feel pity for them, you know, feel bad on yourself because you are, you know, have been blessed in so many ways. It's simply a way to remind yourself just how grateful you should be for every little moment of your life. So I think missions are important for others and for ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, thank you for sharing with us.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing how God moves in your life.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Me too. Oh, goodness.
Crap! My legs! The things I do for you guys.